Charleston County named a new superintendent this summer. We want to welcome Dr. Eric Gallien to talk about his plans as the incoming leadership for the many schools that make up this district and what challenges could potentially lie ahead. Dr. Gallien, we appreciate you being here.
Thank you for allowing me to be here.
Yes, and I just to get it out of the way, just to offer you an opportunity just to discuss or address some of the concerns that came up during the board meetings and your election as superintendent for Charleston County Schools.
Well, I understand that there were a lot of interest in the process.
Yes.
But I think the process was the process, and I am committed to making sure that I get the chance to get to know people in the community, for them to get to know me and understand what my leadership is all about.
Yes, and you formerly are an educator, superintendent of a smaller school district. That was one of the other concerns. Maybe you can talk a little bit about how that experience will complement the work that you have here in Charleston County.
Right. As a superintendent, when you become a superintendent of a district of 10,000 or more, the structures are really similar. They just get larger with larger school districts like Charleston. And so those experiences that I had in Racine, I'm able to translate that and scale it here in Charleston County.
And when you're talking about scale in Charleston County amongst all the grades, what is your vision for a perfect school district? Is there such a thing? And what would you do to implement certain I guess, goal points in terms of the first 100 days, the first year in the position of superintendent?
Well, what I've spent the time doing since I've been here is listening and learning about the organization and the community. And so with that, I have identified some key areas that I want to continue to build upon. I know that there's been a lot of interest and influence put into our literacy and making sure our students can read by grade 5 and making sure that our students are college and career readiness. And so that, in my opinion, are building blocks that I can build on.
Yeah, and what would you say that where schools have failed in the past, where your position and your influence can improve those things and to get to that goal of reading by the 5th grade and of course beyond and being college ready?
Right. Well, one of the things I've been doing since I've been here is analyzing the organization in order to make sure that we're properly aligned to support schools and students. And so that's one of my major priorities right now, is to make sure that we're ready for school and students when they show up Wednesday, August 23rd.
Yeah, August 23rd is coming up. Getting them ready is one thing. Keeping them engaged in school is another. So for your first 100 days of the new school year, are there certain things, mile markers, that you want to hit as you get towards that 100th day?
Well, one is I want to continue to make sure that we're ready. First of all, that the schools are ready and ready to accept students with warm learning environments and smiles on their faces. So I'm looking forward to that. But while we're going through the first 100 days, I just want to make sure that I'm supporting good, solid instruction for students and making sure that we have that holistically across the district, regardless of what community.
Safety is also another big priority, particularly for parents who are worried about sending their kids to school. What would you say to parents as they send their kids off by bus, drop them off at school, and hoping to see them when they pick them up?
Well, I've met a lot of school leaders and teachers, and I am confident that our schools are prepared to keep their children safe, and we're prepared to receive them when they show up.
Test taking. Let's talk a bit about that. How are they performing currently? Where would you like to see them by the end of this school year?
Well, I think we have some pretty aggressive goals set, and I'm really encouraged by the framework that's been put into place to support that work. I am confident that the community will be excited about the growth and development that has occurred over the last year, and we're going to continue to build on that.
Which school districts would you say are winning in those respects, that you could adopt certain philosophies and apply them to Charleston County?
I haven't really looked at that right now. I'm really focused on making sure I learn about this community and making sure that we support the needs of this community.
Where do you see the challenges? What kind of challenges have you been faced with thus far?
The challenges that I hear most about is the equity across the various communities and making sure that we support students across every community in a unified way.
I think a lot of people would also agree that teachers are not paid nearly enough. How would we improve that?
Well, I'm really glad that the board took the bold step in making sure that they increase salaries across the board so that our starting teachers could make more money as they start off their journey in education. But what I'm more encouraged about is that we continue to look at our ESSER funds to see how we can come up with a bonus for teachers, because we value our teachers and we want to make sure that we continue to support the work of the task force that's been put in place to continue to look at compensation.
Are we going to see an additional bit of money in those paychecks by the end of the year?
Our goal is to make sure that we get the money to provide at least a one-time bonus.
A one-time this year?
Yes.
All right. Well, I hope so, because our teachers, they deserve it.
Yes,
they work
do.
so very hard.
Yes, they do.
And they're so dedicated. I want to thank you so much, Dr. Gallien, for joining us.
Thank you.
We're back after this.